Let me adjust my color settings just a little bit. Let me see what I can do here. Set color temperature. Warm it up. That's blue. Let's go the other way. Now I'm starting to look realistic. Okay. So I am going to try doing the readings outside. If you haven't already deduced with your masterful skills, I am in the middle of moving house. So I will be reading the tarot cards for the earth signs today. Hi Kayla, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. And then I have a mirror in here, and I'll be doing mirror scrying. Instead of with a stone, I'll be using a mirror. It is a mirror that I got from Killstar, but the cards did not come from Killstar. I am going to open with a Bible verse, reading from the Tanakh, but I'll be reading it in English and not Hebrew. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and you shall call understanding a kinsman to guard you from a strange woman, from an alien woman who talks smoothly. For from the window of my house through my lattice I gazed, and I saw among the simple, I discerned among the youths a lad devoid of sense, crossing the street next to her corner, and he walks on the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening of the day, in the pitch darkness of night, and behold, a woman was coming toward him, the nakedness of a harlot with her heart besieged. She is bustling and rebellious. Her feet do not dwell in her house. Sometimes she is the street, sometimes in the square, since she lurks at every corner. She takes hold of him and kisses him. Brazenly she says to him, I had to bring peace offerings. Today I paid my vows. Therefore I have come out toward you to look for you, and I have found you. I have bedecked my couch with covers with superior braided work of Egypt. I fanned my couch with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love-making until morning. Let us enjoy ourselves with amorous embraces. For the man is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken the bag of money with him. On the appointed day, he will come home. She swayed him with all her talk. With the smooth talk of her lips, she entices him. This is getting so steamy. Proverbs, how could you? He follows her immediately, as an ox goes to the slaughter, and as a viper to the chastisement of a fool, until an arrow splits his liver, as a bird hastens to a snare, and he does not know that it is at the cost of his life. And now, children, hearken to me and listen to the sayings of my mouth. Let your heart not veer off into her ways, stray not into her paths. Oh, Kayla, I'm so glad you got the cards. That's good to hear. I'm glad you enjoy them. I had a lot of fun putting those images together. So I am going to be using my Oliver Hibbert deck. And we are going to be experiencing a certain amount of ambient noise because I am outside, but I think the trade-off is worth it. If everything goes as planned, my voice will still be the loudest thing in the video, so that's what's important. So, we're going to start out with the sign of Taurus. Taurus, if you would like to go ahead and set your intention, and then just allow any of those associated thoughts or ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind and wait there patiently while I shuffle the cards. And It is a little bit breezy out here, which feels really nice, but we'll see how it goes with the cards themselves, right? Now, Taurus, as I am shuffling and dealing your cards, if there are any things about this that you're dealing with, which are causing you stress or discomfort, or if you're in physical pain, I would like to encourage you to gently breathe through that energy as you inhale. Draw in the divine light of Source. Let it bounce through your mitochondria and hop off the CO2 molecule. And then just exhale all those things out with your breath. Let them go. And get started with your reading. So your timestamp is I'm just typing stuff into my phone today. I don't have my phone to write it down. So Taurus, here in the past, we have the moon. The moon is in the reverse here, so you might have already traversed this path and are now on the other side over here. The sun may have already risen on this situation. So it could have been a period of time in your life where things were very complicated, where nothing was very clear, and now you're coming out on the other side of that. So even though that situation might be over, there might still be a lot of things that you need to unpack and kind of parse out to understand them better. So in the case of the significator Taurus, we do have the High Priestess. This card is associated with the moon. She's a very solitary figure. She keeps these secrets, secret hidden knowledge, as depicted here by this scroll. She's also an intermediary between the two realms. There's really more than two realms, but we're talking about the world below and the world above. And there's just going to be a certain amount of distant roaring engines. It is, after all, LA. Yeah, I know. So we had the moon card, and then we had the High Priestess, whose ruling planet is the moon. So we got Piscean energy, we've got moon energy. It is very secretive so far. Crossing this, we have the King of Wands. Now, this King of Wands energy, oh, sir, I am so sorry. I am so sorry about that. I'm not apologizing to you guys. I'm apologizing to that guy because he obviously is very insecure. So we have the High Priestess here, and then possibly accompanied by this King of Wands. And the King of Wands, somebody who leads through charisma, somebody who has a desire for adventure, very charming, but also in control of their passions. They're also capable of this analytical thought. So this could be even a coupling between somebody who's very withdrawn and somebody who's very outgoing. And they don't necessarily have to be masculine and feminine. Like one person could just be very polemically secretive, and the other person very polemically outgoing and charismatic. It might also be this one person, Taurus. This could be you showing up with a lot of secrets tucked away inside, but then this facade that you kind of show to the world where you're very in control of your passions, but you're very charismatic. You're very natural born leader, I think they like to call it. So down here in the Imam this is going to be the foundations for all of the things that end up happening in the midheaven or the future. And the card that we have there is Judgment. This card is showing up in the upright. So there's the test that you're going through in hopes of rising to a higher plane. And this Judgment card here, we're talking about the ascension process. This is associated with the planet Pluto, and it's also associated with fire elemental energy. So the transformative powers of flame are going to be very important. And that's interesting because we do have that King of Wands coming out, Taurus. So even though Taurus is earth sign energy, you may have prominent fire sign energy in your chart. Or you could just be in a place right now where you're incredibly creative. All of those things are possible. We are going into Leo season after all. And Leo is a fellow fixed sign. From your perspective, Taurus, you're walking away from something. And these are cups filled with your substance. The human body is like 70 to 80% water. But there's also all of these excretions that come out of it. There's your blood. There's your sweat. I don't need to list off all of them. I think you get the idea. That's what is depicted in these cups on the suit of cups, is all of that substance that is contained within your physical form. And it's representative of pouring out your emotional energy. So this doesn't have to mean that you are physically leaving a space. This can also be about leaving situations, leaving a friend group potentially, or just leaving other things behind. This can even represent like quitting drinking or leaving bad habits behind that drain you. From an outsider's perspective, looking in, we have the Five of Wands, and it is in the reverse. So somebody perceives that you are no longer in competition, that you're no longer putting yourself out there. And wands can have to do with creativity. And so can be about your passions. Could be a similar energy as we're seeing here with the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands, you'll notice, is not dressed similarly to these figures at all, right? This King of Wands has transcended. He's moved beyond these petty training sessions. He gets other people to do that for him. He gets these guys to do it for him. So you perceive that you're leaving something. Other people are just noticing that you're not around anymore. But there's not really a recognition yet of this fulfillment of the King of Wands. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially because, like we already know, you're probably being very secretive about whatever this is. Here in the future, Taurus, we do have this Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is taking material or creating material manifestations out of the substance. So taking your ideations, your emotions, your passions, pouring all of that into a nice little disc-shaped mold and then plucking it out of the stratosphere, bringing it down and making it concrete here on Earth. So that can be a new job, but it can also be can have to do with other types of investments that you're able to make. So it could be putting money into a savings or retirement account or the stock market. So here in your hopes and fears, don't worry anymore, Taurus. Stop your worrying. You're hoping that you'll be able to let go of anxieties and fears, it looks like. Because this card is in the reverse. It's the Nine of Swords. We've all seen it before. Up here in the midheaven, who wants ice cream? Do you guys want anything? Do you want a SpongeBob pop? Do you want a rocket pop? What about a push pop? I don't know if they even have push pops in this thing. Maybe they have like an Elsa popsicle that doesn't look like a human at all. I love push pops so much. I haven't had one in a very long time. We used to regularly get the orange ones, but I know that they have like several different flavors. And I used to complain about the guy with the blower. So the magician in the reverse is showing up in the midheaven. And this is going to be the result of this judgment, this transformation that you're going through. There might be unforeseen repercussions to ascending. Not that your creative powers are going to completely stall out, but this card showing up in the reverse, what I'm getting from that is that there's a need to really check your work, Taurus. Especially during this process where you are shifting into a different reality. There is a lot of this that's hidden. And the Magician and the High Priestess are actually very similar cards. We've got somebody who is that active magical force. And then we also have somebody who is that passive magical force. The High Priestess can also be like the Hermit, can also be a counterpart, though probably not in a relationship with the Hierophant. But this card showing up reversed is very interesting. Let's look at the final outcome. I wonder if they're just going to park there until the end of the readings and then drive away. So in the final outcome, we have the Four of Wands. And this card is also showing up reversed. So this is counter to where we have that Five of Wands in the reverse. And it might be saying that if you keep things too secretive, then you're not going to be able to reap the rewards of the hard work that you put in. That this King of Wands energy here is not going to get you anywhere if you're not participating in things. And you might have already seen your ascension occur, and it might already be somewhat assured. Oh yeah, that's pretty loud in the recording. Oh well. What can you do? Whatever it is you're leaving, you don't want to be worried about that. Let me look at this for just a second before I close everything up and move on to Virgo. So things were unclear in the past. So people might not know what you're up to these days, Taurus. And that might be a part of it. I think what we're getting here from this midheaven and this final outcome is that in order to manifest these things, you have to be participating in the creative process. Even though it might seem a little bit like everybody's just kind of scrambling for the same pile of scraps. God, that is so annoying. Sorry. Usually stuff like that doesn't bother me, but hopefully I will find a good place to record videos. The kitchen might be okay. And it'll probably just depend on what time of day I'm doing it. There we go. So that'll be at the end of the Taurus reading. Oh, he heard me. I wonder if he does that every day. So now we can move on to the sign of Virgo. And Virgo, if you would, just set your intention and... Oh, of course, Kayla. Thank you for sticking with me. Just allow any associated thoughts or ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind. And if any of these things are stressing you out or causing you discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. As you inhale, draw in the divine light of Source. And as you exhale, just release any of those things that are no longer serving you, that are causing you any discomfort or disgruntlement, etc., 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 etc. Gonna have 2 cards for the past. All right, buddy, we're all trying to make a living here. Okay. Let me write down the timestamp. Okay. And let's start here in the past for you, Virgo. So we have the King of Pentacles, and we have the lizards in the past here. The King of Pentacles is somebody who is heir of earth energy, somebody who's got Taurus energy, as a matter of fact, fellow earth sign, and is very stable, very successful. And this is energy that is upright moving into the current situation. Now, coupled with that card is the lizards. That is number 17. So take a little. So even though the King of Pentacles here is a very stable, successful energy, we're also getting this card about take a little. Somebody could be a benefactor to you starting in the past, Virgo, and this is moving into the current situation. Here in the place of the significator, we have the Seven of Cups. This card is in the upright. It is all about your options. So you have so many things available to you at this time. And the crossing energy for this is the Ace of Pentacles. So you have a lot of different things available to you as ways of earning money. So that's really cool. Down here in the Imam Silai, it's going to be the foundation upon which the future situations that we'll look at in the midheaven will be built. And the card that we have there is the Six of Pentacles. Now, this card has to do with give and take, much like we saw in the past with the lizards. It looks like you do have more income coming in at this time than is flowing out. You might have enough to contribute to others. And things are generally going on an upswing. From your perspective, we have the Page of Cups. So you could be making an offer to somebody, Virgo, at this time. It could be an emotional offer, but the Page of Cups can also be a partnership having to do with business. It could also be an offer of money. Here, from an outside person's perspective, we have the Four of Pentacles. And this card is also in the upright. So people see about you right now that you are holding on to things really well. You might be conserving resources at this time, putting money into savings, or just holding on to your energy even. So even though we do have this Six of Pentacles here, that you are putting money away. Now, this card is in the upright, so people don't necessarily see you as stingy. I think they see you as more like being frugal and conserving your resources and investing in things like that. Here in the future, we do have the Death card. Now,
Death card is all about transformation. It is a little bit different from the Judgment card in that we're not necessarily ascending to a higher plane, but there is a transformation occurring. This is scorpionic energy, so we also have water energy here. And you might have Scorpio in your chart somewhere, you never know. But the Death card here is in the upright in the future, so you most likely see aspects of this change coming. You might already be aware of what's going to happen. Here, in the hopes and fears, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and this card is showing up in the reverse. Now, you might be afraid that money is going to leave you more quickly than it will come in. I don't necessarily see anything like that occurring at this time. So I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about money because I think in the current situation, you are okay. I don't think that there's anything going on right now that is a red flag for you. So just continue to be conservative with your spending and you should be okay. Here in the midheaven, so this is going to be the result of this kind of ebb and flow of resources. The hourglass in the upright is, I always have trouble. In the upright, take your time. Don't rush into things. And also do not try too hard to force things to happen, because this change is coming in for you, Virgo. And the more you're able to take your time, the more you're able to accumulate and distribute resources to their best benefit. And then here in the final outcome, we have the Two of Swords, being able to make a choice. And of course, that is balanced against this Four of Pentacles. So the choice might be about money. The choice might be kind of dependent on money, but because both of those cards are upright, I take it less that the choice is dependent on money and more that there might be an illusion that the choice is dependent on money, and that you will need to make the choice regardless.
So that is going to conclude the Virgo reading for this week. And now I'm going to move on to the sign of Capricorn. And eventually I'll figure out the times of day that are best for filming. I'm kind of losing my natural light. I did have a lamp that I brought so that I could continue to read after it got dark, in case it did get dark on me. But eventually maybe I could do this at like 11 in the morning. Hi Raziel, thank you for coming. It's good to see you.
So Capricorn, if you would, just kind of gently feel out the energy, set your intention, and allow any thoughts and associated ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind and wait there gently. And if there are any things about this that are causing you discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. So as you inhale, draw in the divine light of Source. Allow it to bounce with that oxygen molecule through every part of your electron transport chain. Latch it onto that final CO2 and then just exhale. Exhale it out. So here in the past for you, Capricorn, we have the Three of Cups. This is a very tight-knit friend group, and it might be that you have some very good friends that you've had for a long time, and that those connections are bringing you into the current situation. It's a good thing, too, because it looks like there's something going on that is all-out war. There could be a victory for you of some kind. This is crossed by the Queen of Cups. So this Five of Swords is a very contentious and violent energy. But the Queen of Cups is water of water energy, a very nurturing, maternal type energy. So this victory might be balanced by a situation in which you are maternal and nurturing to others. This might have to do with this friend group also. Down here in the Imam Silai. I wonder if I turn my mic down just a tad. Okay, so now I can do soft spoken and it sounds like everything is kind of reduced. So down in the Imam Silai, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And this Eight of Pentacles is an energy of long-term career prospects and can have to do with something that you've been doing for a long time. It might not be your primary source of income, but you probably are earning some money for the effort that you're putting into this process, whatever it might be. From your perspective, we have the Three of Wands. And this Three of Wands is showing up reversed. So you're waiting for something to return from energy that you have put out there. From an outsider's perspective looking in, you have unlocked the door and now you are able to pass through this threshold into whatever is beyond. This is very similar to the Judgment card in some ways, but also similar to the Magician. It is the first card of the Secret Arcana. So maybe you don't feel ready, but maybe somebody else perceives you to be ready. Here in the future, we have the Six of Cups. And this card is also upright. So we see the one figure here handing this chalice with flowers to this smaller person. It's also kind of like about generational things returning from the past, our history. So there could be in the future something returning from the past for you. And it might be from this group of friends. It could be somebody coming back that you haven't seen in a long time. It could also be if all of you had made some kind of plan a long time ago, you might finally be following through with it. And this Queen of Cups is kind of the ringleader. This might be you, Capricorn, or it might be somebody who's kind of like a partner to you or a wing person. Anything's possible. I'm really confused about this contentiousness. If I can't get to the bottom of that, by the end of the reading, then I am going to pull some additional cards for that. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Justice card, and it's coming out in the upright. So you are hoping for justice. This is in opposition to this Three of Wands in the reverse. So wherever you have put your energy into something and you're waiting for this return, there could be some kind of situation that has how do I put this? You feel like it's unjust that you've put so much of your energy into something and it hasn't returned to you. I do see something returning, but it's not the same way. Like the Three of Wands is like a return on an investment, whereas like the Six of Cups is a return of some kind of emotional bond. And being a Capricorn, or being in that Capricorn energy, that's more like earth sign pragmatic, not necessarily as concerned with the emotional side of things, more concerned with like the money and the tangible resources. Here in the midheaven, so the result of all of this work is going to be a seduction. And this could be you seducing somebody, could have to do with this Queen of Cups energy. Really don't like that Five of Swords. I really don't, Capricorn. I'm not sure why it's coming out like that, and I do think I'm going to pull some clarifiers on that. But a situation where you've put a lot of work in, there's going to be a seduction of some kind there. So it could be like a workplace romance for sure. But there are other ways that this can take place, because remember, seduction is something appealing to your baser urges. It can be a seduction to commit a certain act. It can be a seduction to a different line of work, even. Like maybe because you've been doing such a great job this whole time, you get seduced away by a different company and paid much, much more money. And that could have to do with this friend group. Like maybe one of your friends gets a job at a place and they're like, oh, you would love it here. This would be perfect. Because what's better than spending all your time with your best friends? Pretty much nothing. Here in the final outcome, we have the Page of Wands. This card is showing up in the upright. So this Page of Wands energy is manifesting your passions on the physical plane. And it's a very enthusiastic energy, not a terribly serious energy, very light, enthusiastic energy. This is the kind of person who's very eager to learn, but not very serious about their studies. And this is showing up. I love kids so much. So, this is showing up counter to the door here, where you have the key to finally cross through this portal. And the key to that might be this Page of Wands energy. Pages are earth of fire. So maybe you have earth and fire. Maybe you're kind of on the younger side. And now let me pull some clarifiers about that Five of Swords, because that is just, I mean, I just don't like that card anyway, and to have it there with the Queen of Cups, that's, that's not really like the vibe of the Queen of Cups. If you consider yourself victorious in that sword energy, that very active energy against the Queen of Cups, what kind of victory are you really planning to obtain? Because you're just bullying somebody who is just trying to be nurturing and helpful. Because that Queen of Cups is crossing energy. It's, it's not a reverse card. All right, let's see what's going on here with this Five of Swords. We have a cycle ending, but it looks like the new beginning is coming in before the cycle technically closes out. And we also have like that time has run out to make a choice, that you've had time to evaluate all your options, and now it's time to pick one. So what we have here is the beginning of this new cycle is the Ace of Wands. And this Ace of Wands, it can be about male potency. It can also be about pure elemental fire energy. So we do have, a lot of fire energy in your reading, telling you that it's time to take action on something. And we have this Page of Wands wielding that Ace of Wands. So both of these are very nascent energies. They're very like beginnings of cycles, very young energies, maybe not super experienced energies, right? And then closing out the last cycle, we have the shedding of a lot of burdens. So this shedding of burdens coming into this new cycle with the Ace of Wands here, there's this choice to be made. I think you are shedding a lot of old energy possibly at this time, giving things fresh eyes and fresh perspective.
And that is going to conclude the Capricorn reading for this week. So, thank you to all of you joining me for the live stream this evening. I do think I'm going to try to do live streams earlier in the day because I've run out of light now. Leaving my mouth in alluring shadow, of course. And it was a little distracting to read outside, but I think it might have to do with the time of day, so we'll see. And I'll play around with the microphone levels too and see if I can figure out what is a good volume to have the readings. I am going to do a members live stream immediately following the end of this live stream. If that interests you, you're cordially invited. But your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. So thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing you again very,